What's up, y'all? It's your boy RGG, a regular gun guy. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where I bring you gun content that everybody can relate to. If this is your first time here and you enjoy this video, leave me a thumbs up and smash that sub button. And if you're returning to the channel, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Woo-wee! This one got them talking. I ain't gonna even lie, man. Today we talking about the Fusion Firearms XP Pro Comp. The 2011 world been raving over this. It's been hyped up like crazy. It's highly anticipated. So you're probably saying, what's all the hype around this XP Pro Comp? I get it. Because when they came out with the XP Pro, there was only one other gun on the market that was even similar, right? That was already making a ton of noise in the industry, which was the Stealth Arms Platypus. And then the XP Pro, by having the success that it did, they were also listening to the consumer, the customer, the influencers, everybody giving them feedback, which brought us to the XP Pro Comp. On paper, this might be the best thing since sliced bologna or bread or ham or cheese, whatever. We got to see how this thing runs, and we're going to dig into all of that today. I don't like to compare the 2011 variants to your traditional like double stack 1911 2011s, because traditionally most of them will take the traditional STI or 2011 magazine, right? This is actually the all new Checkmate 19 round flush fit magazine. Shout out to Checkmate. The variants will take something different, right? So you got the ones that take the Glock mags like this, like the XP Pro and the XP Pro Comp, Stealth Arms Platypus, and then the Staccato HD. What we want to do is find out, is this XP Pro Comp, is it going to live up to all the hype? I was curious, just like everybody else, to see what it was going to be. But I ain't going to lie, my excitement level probably wasn't as high as everybody else's at first, because I'm thinking, okay, well, the XP Pro is dope. All right, they're gonna add a comp to it. So what? So here's what you could expect today, because I got a chance to actually shoot the XP Pro comp at Fusion Firearms. So I went down to their headquarters and was able to get one of the first ones, their shotgun, out of the box and be the first person to fire. And I ran hundreds and hundreds of rounds to that thing, and I'll let you know how that went. We'll talk about what upgrades happened. What's different about the XP Pro Comp? Is it worth upgrading, right? If you already have an XP Pro, we'll go through the pros, the cons, what happened good, what happened bad. We'll talk about it all. And we're gonna send this gun through my practical rating system, so it'll get a score at the end of this video too. So stay tuned, man. This is a good one. Let's get into it. So first, let's address the elephant in the room. What's different about the XP Pro Comp from the XP Pro? This gun is empty and safe. You hear how smooth that thing sounds. Obviously, it looks different when you just look at it face up. What you're getting out of this particular guy is obviously the added comp, and then they put a full rail on it, which really changes the look on it. And then they change the texture on the grip module, right? So they upgraded the grip module right here, which was, I think, one of the primary complaints about the gun. You can see some of the detail on the top, which we'll talk about when we go over the features. You can see those serrations and how they're different, the knurling, and look at the top of the gun. Just looks beautiful, man. So most of the changes that you see are cosmetic, but I feel like there's a couple changes that wasn't really advertised, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So like I stated earlier, I took a trip down to Fusion Firearms in Venice, Florida. That being said, I get there, no real expectations. One of the fellas opened up the case, showed me the gun, and I just saw the all black one. As soon as I laid my eyes on it, I said, oh yeah. Cosmetically, it just really stood out. And you hadn't really seen the finished version on the internet yet, because all the versions that were on the internet were prototypes, so it had changed. And oh my God, I was like, boy, if this thing run anything like it look, it's gonna change the game. Fast forward, I took the shotgun out to the range that they have on site, and I was able to run that gun fresh out the box. I'm talking about, I ran it. He said, run the hell out of it. I ran the hell out of it. Let's see what this thing, let's see if the hype is real. It's never been fired. See where we at with it. First few shots feel good. Nothing. Fresh out the box.
Fresh out the box.
No oil, no nothing.
No oil, no nothing.
Okay. That first mag felt amazing. Ran flawlessly. Let's run it.
We ain't locked back, but we empty. Beautiful.
I kept shooting. I was shooting until I just got tired, man.
Butter,
My
man.
favorite part is that full dust cover rail. That's my favorite part. I think that's the sexiest part.
That rail is crazy. The return to zero is crazy. Beautiful. I'm trying not to give it a break. I don't like to take it easy because that's cheap. My God.
No brakes. Give her hell.
That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. I'm loving the trigger. Woo!
And I'm gonna be flat out honest with you. I had zero malfunctions out of the firearm. None whatsoever. I'm talking about I'm just shooting. I'm just shooting. I couldn't believe how fast the trigger was. And I'm not a competition shooter. I'm not a professional shooter. So for me to be able to shoot as fast as I was able to shoot with that gun, I was like, oh my God. But this here is a limited edition from the custom shop, PVD coded. When they first come into the wild, everybody won't have this color, right? You'll see some things when you do start seeing this one from a couple of the guys that have them. You'll see the ambi thumb rest on the frame. Okay, this one doesn't have the ambi thumb rest. I kind of didn't want it built into the frame, but it do look cool, man. I might have to try to get me one of those later. But I wanted to see how much different the XP Pro Comp was from the actual XP Pro. So let me just show you a quick clip of how I ran those back to back, and then I'll tell you my thoughts.
XP Pro Comp. Only if you were wondering.
They both shot really smooth. The triggers in them are pretty good, right? I think the trigger in the XP Pro Comp is a little better. They say they didn't change it, but I don't believe them. Somebody did something that they didn't tell somebody about, because the trigger just seems better to me in the XP Pro Comp, but I digress. In terms of recoil, this firearm definitely reduced the recoil. I'm not gonna say 30-40%, but I'm gonna say noticeably. It definitely returned to zero a lot better, and probably because it's a longer gun. Once I got it back home, I took it out to the range myself to really run it through all the tests. First, I had to get it sighted in, took a couple shots, get it sighted in. We're gonna take the first shots here today, get it sighted in, and then we're just gonna run the gun and talk about it, man. So here go the first shots. See, where am I hitting? Looks like I'm hitting a little high. Let me take another shot. All right. Let me get it sighted in. I'll be right back. Then I wanted to shoot some groups with it to see how accurate I could actually be. So I shot a 10-yard group with it. I want to see what I could do at 10 yards with this thing. We're running some regular 115 grain. All right, we hot and bothered. Let's go. Shot number one. It didn't go back in the battery that time. That's okay. Shot 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. On safe, the holster. I mean, I don't know what more you look for in terms of accuracy. So that was a 10 yards, man. Damn. As I was shooting my 10-yard groups, you notice there was a couple times that the firearm didn't go back into battery, right? That's probably could be a spring issue, simple problem. Wasn't malfunctioning, but it just didn't go in the battery a couple times, so you were able to see that. So I backed out to 20 yards, started shooting some steel. Let's just ring some steel here. Nice.
doubles. Woo. Woo.
Then I decided to back it out to 25 yards. 20 was just too damn easy.
We got 25, let's take a few. Woo.
And I wanted to do a little bit of drawing from the holster, so I was trying to draw from 25 yards and hit on the 8-inch steel gong. I got one of those holsters where you got to press the button to release the firearm, and then I got to take it off safe, but I didn't do too bad. And then, of course, right, I want to show you guys the recoil, kind of let you see how it looks on camera and how flat the gun tracks or not. So after tracking it or seeing how flat it would track, I ran a comparison between the Romulus and the XP Pro Comp, just shooting them back to back. I'll let you guys see how that went. I don't know, they're close, but it shoots a little flatter than the Romulus to me because it seems to be a bit heavier. Just a little bit of a heavier firearm, which I'll verify here in a second. So after weighing the two guns, the XP Pro Comp is about 3.5 ounces heavier than the Romulus, both with a light and an optic on them. So at one point in one of my videos, I was doing a video with the Romulus and I was running into some issues with 147 grain flat nose. So I wanted to test 147 grain through the XP Pro Comp to see how it ran it.
All right, so one of the things I wanted to do was try to run some of this 147 grain Federal through it. I just want to see if it'll run it. Ran it just fine.
Throughout the day, I probably ran about 650, 700 rounds through the firearm, going through it all day. And one of the issues I kept running into was it wasn't locking back, right? But I figured out why. Because I had this this thumb rest on there, and for some reason it just would not lock open with this thumb rest on there. And that was an easy fix by putting the original one back on that it comes with. I'm not a gunsmith, man. My buddy Billy said I'm a Gun Jones, whatever that is. So as promised, I wanted to put the gun through my practical rating system and really kind of give you some concrete information on what I came up with the gun. So if you don't know how the scoring system works, I rate it in 10 categories. And the 10 categories are packaging, build quality, features, trigger, performance, availability, the usage, aftermarket support, reliability up until the point of this video, and then bang for your buck, the value. And the way it works is each one of those categories are scored from 1 to 10. You can score up to 100. 100 would be the perfect gun, which I don't even know if that exists. 0 to 59 is not good at all. 60 to 69, it works. 70 to 79, it's a solid firearm for sure. 80 to 89, it's above average firearm. 90 to 99, awesome as hell. Highly, highly recommended. And then obviously 100 is the perfect gun. So let's get into it, man. Let's see how this gun fared. For the packaging, I gave it an 8.5. It comes in the Fusion box. Inside the box, you have the hard case. But I was like, dang, man, it could have said XP Pro Comp. Well, now I could be nitpicking there. You get like your cleaning kit on the inside, 2 magazines. I felt like it could have came with 3. Give us 3 magazines. They Glock mags, you know. But I gave it an 8.5 for the packaging. Build quality, 9. I gave this thing an awesome 9 for the build quality. You feel how smooth that is. The finish, especially on the bronze one with the PVD finishing on there, the overall quality, the way that this gun feels. A lot of times on higher end 2011s that cost you a house, they always talk about like slide the frame fitment. Look at this. Thing don't move. It's got a very tight, really good fitment. You feel how smooth it is. All the controls are just on point. I love the grip module. It feels like a premium firearm. But I gave the build quality a 9. Features, 9.5. And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't get 10 here in a minute, but let's talk about the features of this thing. The trigger in this thing is a 1-piece steel milled trigger. The bull barrel, obviously, your ABI safety controls, a full rail. You got your full dust cover. They changed the serrations. It's obviously comped. You get your plates for your RMR, and I think I had a Delta Point Pro one in here. I was having trouble saying this, but it's got a modular aluminum grip module, which is crazy for a gun was considered a budget 2011 to have an aluminum grip module in the first place. It has all the bells and the whistles that you would want. And the only reason I didn't give it a 10 for features is because, and this is just the pressure of today's market, right? It could have probably been ported too, right? I know I'm nitpicking, but comp and ported, you see that often. So since it wasn't ported, I didn't give it a perfect 10. Bob, don't hurt me. So I gave it a 9.5 for features. Let's talk about the trigger. 9.5. Oh my God. And I'm not even a trigger snob, but let me show you the trigger on this thing. Get in frame. Get in focus, I mean. There we go. Look at this. That's your take up. That's your take up. Break. Reset. Break. Reset. Let me show it to you. And I rarely pull this thing out in my videos, okay? But I'm gonna do it today because Lord knows. Let me show y'all something right here on camera that I can't make up. See zeros? .27, 2.14, 2.71. This is a sub 3-pound trigger, and you saw how good and smooth the trigger is. With all of that being said, man, I gave the trigger a 9.5. Performance, I gave performance a 9. The fact that I had those two it's only happened to me twice where it didn't go back in the battery. I'm not sure if that's a spring issue. We'll change the spring in it, and I'll keep you guys updated on what's happening with that. But I gave performance a 9 because the gun shot flat. It was extremely accurate, easy to control. I was able to shoot it from distance, so it performed well. Availability. Availability right now, I'm giving it an 8. I think all the pre-orders sold out. Everything is going to whatever distributors they have to go to. So when you get ready to order it now, you may have to wait a little bit, but not like somebody, you ain't gonna be waiting no whole year or no 6 months or no crap like that. You certainly may have to wait a few weeks to get the firearm in your hand, or you might be able to find it in one of your local shops, because I know it went out to distributors, but that's something you'd have to contact those guys about to get more information on it. And if you're looking for like this bronze color, I know this is a limited edition from the custom shop, so I'm not sure if these will be available right away, or they may be. Again, you have to contact them to get that information. Usage. So usage, I gave it 8.5. And most 2011s will probably score kind of like that because, again, more competition, sport shooting and stuff like that. So I gave it a 8.5 for usage, right? I mean, you could probably put it on your side, but I don't know if that's something I would do. But at the end of the day, 8.5 for usage, man. Aftermarket support, I gave it a 9. The Fusion themselves carry anything you can imagine for a 1911 and most 2011s, right? And then The 2011 aftermarket space is unbelievable. So this firearm will take most of all the common parts. Of course, the grip module is kind of where it gets weird. So on your normal 2011s, you can find grip modules any and everywhere. But on these, you're going to be limited. But I think that's going to change in the future. You know, the grip module is the only thing that stops it from having a 10 for aftermarket support. Reliability. Reliability, I gave it a 10. You say, well, man, how you do that? Because you know, it didn't go in battery. No failure to feeds, no failure to ejects, none of the, what I like to call reliability issues. And mind you, I've got probably between the two firearms, the one that I shot at the shop and this one, close to 2,000 rounds. So I gave reliability a 10 because I know once it's resprung, I probably won't even see that not going back in the battery that I saw twice when I was at the range with this one. The XP Pro is reliable. I don't expect much less from this particular comp version. And I didn't have any ammo issues, right? I ran the 147 through it, 124, 115. I ran some hollows through it. I ran a bunch of stuff through it, and it ran great. Last but not least, bang for your buck, value, 10. Why? My God. So here's my challenge to anybody. You can leave it to me in the comments. I want you to find me anything less than 3 bands that has the features of this particular gun, right? Less than 3. As a matter of fact, I even go down a little bit because I think the only firearms that you'll find that'll start having this level of features with the aluminum grip module that's actually interchangeable, taking the Glock mags. There's none of the variants have that. Well, the HD does, but it doesn't have the aluminum grip module, correct? Right? You're not gonna have a PVD finish option on there, have it be comp like this one is, have a sub 3-pound trigger, come with all your optic plates, all of that stuff in this price range at all. You're just not gonna find it, not even close to this price range. So you gotta go way up. I think Kimber, one of the Kimber 2011s, the 2K11s, may have it. Next up, you gotta get into the Jacob Gray, like the Hex, which I'm waiting on the Hex to get here. Jacob Gray, they told me that one's going to be on the way. And you're talking $3,500 for the Hex. So to get to these specs, this quality, under $3,000 is going to be really, really tough. So bang for your buck, I had to give it a 10, man, because there's just nothing even close to it. So all in all, this gun scored a 91. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Highly recommended. A really dope piece. Now, do I think it's worth upgrading? If you have an XP Pro, yes, it's worth the upgrade, man. Aside from that, they have amazing customer service. Guys take a lot of pride in the firearms. When you talk about these variants like 2011s that take the Glock mags, people say, well, man, dude, would you buy the Platypus? So when I first compared the XP Pro to the Platypus in the first video that I did on the XP Pro, I gave the Platypus the edge. I felt like the Platypus was better. Now, not so sure. I think this race is a lot closer now. I think the advantage that this has over the Platypus is the modular grip module. Now, what gives Stealth Arms an advantage over everybody is their customization tool. But then you got the wait time. So all those things weigh into play. So in terms of shootability and reliability and how good and the customer service and how much pride they take in the guns, I think they're pretty neck and neck. I personally think both are better than the HD, and both cost less than the HD. That's just my personal opinion, but I'm definitely going to have more content coming on this. Do me a favor, stay solid. It's free. Defend what you love.